Hi everyone, it's Alaine Buchanan. I've been doing a lot of thinking and pondering this week about the topic of identity. And part of that is because I'm doing some research and writing on a related topic, but part of it is because all of us go through times and through seasons of life where our identity shifts, it changes, whether that be due to shift in things that are out of our control, and sometimes it's due to things that are within our control. But within this concept of identity, it's interesting to me because in the research that I've been doing, it seems like everybody struggles with identity, and not just once in their life or twice in their life or even three times in their life. There are different junctures and different points in our lives where we do ask questions about our identity and about who we are and why we're here, why we exist, and what we're supposed to do with our lives, and all of those different types of things. So I was also reminded of a quick story, a quick interaction that I had with somebody early on in my husband's active duty chaplaincy career, a conversation with another chaplain spouse that really helped me and continues to help me ground myself when those different life changes and seasons and circumstances that are out of our control happen. And so I'd like to give you a little bit of context and then tell you what this other chaplain spouse said to me. So when my husband went active duty as a chaplain, I was and still am one of just a handful of spouses who are ordained ministers. Some come from denominations that will happily place them in congregations, and others come from denominations where the local churches are autonomous, or maybe their diocese. And they have different expectations, different rules, just whatever denomination they come from. Each of us has different situations and circumstances, but what we all have in common is that we're all ordained ministers. Something else that's a little bit different, and I did not know this until I was finished with my PhD program, but I'm also the first active duty spouse to earn a PhD in a biblical studies related area. There are several who have done a Doctor of Ministry, and Doctor of Ministry degrees are very important. They're very good. They're very hands-on, very practical in nature and focus. And a PhD is mostly straight academic research for the most part. So here I was, this new active duty spouse, in this world where at that point in time, everybody's spouses were deploying, including mine. People are worried about their spouse who's in danger's way, about their kids, about family, about all different kinds of things. And yet I struggled because I didn't find my identity in my husband. I didn't find my identity in kids. I didn't have kids at the time. I have one now, but I didn't have kids at the time. And all I really knew and all I really understood was my relationship with my husband, my relationship with Jesus, and these aspects of my life that really helped to define part of who I am. So in this struggle to adapt, because the military culture, yes, it's part of American culture, but it's very different. It's a subset of culture within the American culture. And I had a really, really difficult time adjusting. Thank God I had some friends who helped me learn and helped me make some adjustments. But I want to tell you about one conversation that I had with another chaplain spouse. And I was actually told, you need to go talk to this lady. So Rhoda, thank you. If you see this, thank you so much. So I went and I talked to Rhoda and I said, here's who I am. Here's my situation. Here's what I'm doing. All of these people, they find their identity in something, something outside of themselves, whether that be their spouse, their kids, their job, all these different things. And I looked at her and I said, how are we supposed to do life within this military context? And her answer to me was profound, simple but profound. She said, Alaine, you need to find your identity in Christ and in Christ alone. Because jobs come and go, titles come and go, positions come and go, relationships with other people, they come and go. But Jesus remains, and Jesus will always, always remain. So find your identity in Christ and encourage other people to find their identity in Christ too. And those words, find your identity in Christ, because Christ doesn't change. Those words totally shifted my perspective within the context that I found myself. And I would venture to say that that isn't just for the military context, that's for all of us, regardless of who you are and regardless of where you find yourself. Whatever is going on in your life, call on Jesus and find your identity in Christ, because when things happen, and they will happen, then you can always trust and you can always know that Jesus is consistent. Jesus is going to stay the same. And if you have found your identity in Him, you are His. You are His. Have a great week, and I'll see you next week.